I could please, we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and start. I'd like to say welcome and call to order, please. It's 1 p.m. and this meeting will come to order. This is a Zoom meeting, so please remain as quiet as possible so everyone is able to hear the proceedings, whether you're in the office or you're on our virtual partners, if you will. I'd like to welcome all the members of the association. There's anyone who has not signed in, please go back to the back table back there and do so, but I think everybody's good to go. This is a formal meeting of the 2025 Annual Members Meeting of the Oyster Harbour Homeowners Association. My name is Larry May. I'm president of the HOA and the chairman of this meeting. I would like to introduce the members of the board. Brian Vinson, who is our vice president, Chad Andrews, our treasurer, BJ Crane, secretary, and Danny Matthews, director at large. I would like also to introduce CAM OIB management staff, Paul Haley in the back, who's our association manager, and Christy Register Chapel, who is the owner of CAM OIB. BJ Crane, secretary of the association, will serve as secretary of the meeting. Paul Haley of CAM OIB will serve as the recording secretary of this meeting. The next item of business is to establish meeting quorum. Do we have meeting quorum, please? Very good. This quorum has been established to be successfully conduct the meeting in accordance with the Oyster Harbour bylaws, Article 4, Section 4. The next item of business is proof of mailing notice. Secretary Crane, please examine the proof, or if you've not already, proof of mailing of the notice of the 2025 annual members meeting, and file the proof of mailing with the official minutes of the meeting, along with a sample of the notice that was directed to the membership. Okay, thank you very much. Next item of business is the end of term business. Approval of the 2024 annual meeting minutes. Board, do I have a motion to approve? Go for it. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. The next item of business is a reading of the president's report. Following in my predecessor's footsteps, I would like to highlight some of the accomplishments our community has achieved over the past year. Whether continuing previously approved projects or initiating new ones, the board and our dedicated committee members have made meaningful improvements to Oyster Harbour. These are tangible results, things that you can see and feel, not just conversations in our community, but real outcomes that demonstrate what committed volunteers can achieve when they give of their time and their energy. Just a few examples, if I might, please. Infrastructure projects. We completed 2 of those major projects approved last summer, paving 40% of our roads, expanding entrances, cleaning out the stormwater drainage systems. These projects were funded from our reserves at a cost of just under $700,000. HOA Start, another example, completed installation, now fully utilizing the capabilities from surveys to messaging to other attributes of this program and of course, our website. Policy and process updates, developed and revised multiple policies and standards to better align us with the anticipated rewrite of North Carolina General Statute 47, the Homeowners and Condominium Act, which is continuing to be revised at the state level. And I'll speak a little bit about that under the ABC report. Access system reviews, conducted full reviews of our databases, removing hundreds of devices and codes no longer belonging to current owners. Reserve study. We began our scheduled 4-year study early, and what we're trying to do is reestablish that reserve baseline in preparation for the 2027 budget process that will start at the early part of next year. Property management transition. We've successfully transitioned to the new property management company to improve service and reduce cost. Financial reviews. We revisited the CDs and the cash on hand of our reserve dollars in order to maximize our investment opportunities. Our treasurer's report will speak to that in a few moments. Or following me, actually. Pool and amenities, completed major pool repairs, furniture replacements, installed the weir stairs. Where's Jim? Stairs at the back gate, repaired pond amenities, including pumps, lights, and dredging was performed. Community events, from new members being welcomed to hosting Emergency Services Day, Kids Pool Day, and so many other social gatherings that continue to strengthen the community spirit. Beautification projects, power washed, painted entrances, overhaul landscaping, irrigation systems, and too numerous to count projects that people put their time and effort into to make us look prettier and better. Front gate review. We formed a working group to evaluate the gate system and began to address piggybacking and other access issues. Site visits are now underway. Recommendations and cost estimates are in progress, and hopefully we'll be getting that soon. Emphasized overall financial responsibility to meet our fiduciary responsibilities. All contracts awarded through a fair and consistent process, always with two goals in mind: maximizing service and minimizing the cost. The results speak for themselves. Our reserve balance now exceeds $1.3 million, even after $700,000 were expended toward the two projects I mentioned earlier. The reserve funding status is improved to 38%. Would have been a little bit higher, but we got the report from the engineer, which dropped it down significantly, but still 38% is much better over the previous years. I'd like to say thank you to CAM OIB staff for supporting the board and our committees and our members, and especially to Paul and owner Christy for the excellent work that you've done since you've come on board. I would like to also personally thank the active committee members who work very hard at keeping Oyster Harbour running and doing the things that make it really great. Finally, it's been my privilege and honor to serve on the board for the past 3 years, and with this past year as your president, I want to personally thank my fellow board members, Danny, Brian, Chad, and BJ, for their commitment and hard work and their patience. We did our best, and I'm proud of what we accomplished together. Respectfully, Lee. So now I'd like to ask Chad to come up and read the treasurer's report.
Hey everyone, I'd like to welcome everybody for being here this afternoon. Of course, I'm Chad Andrews, the treasurer. I'm going to repeat just a lot about what Larry just mentioned. This past year, going from September all the way up to August, we've been very busy. Just come with the big projects that Larry actually mentioned was the overlay of the new asphalt on the roads, where we got a little bit over 40% of the neighborhood completed with the new asphalt. Plus then going around with the stormwater drainage systems throughout the entire neighborhood. Yes, all that combined equaled a little bit under $700,000. And we think that was a big expense. At the same time, the board has been very active in looking at renewals of contracts, of course, saving any type of money we can here and there, plus looking at all of our different investments. We were not just automatic renewing CDs for the existing account. We were going out and shopping constant new ideas, new percentages, what the best offers were. And when we diversify back down, we currently have $1,322,000+ in our reserve account. That's not our operational account, just in our reserve. So if you look at our big expenses this year and already looking at, we still have that much in savings, we're putting our mind in the place as we start to look at our projects that we're going to try to start really looking at and addressing for 2026, 2027, 2028, and so on. It's really trying to be proactive in that account. And that's something that this board has really researched and really focused on of what our future growth is going to be and how to best invest our money at this current rate. If you have any questions at all, please like always, please feel free to ask the questions. Thank you so much for attending today, and please enjoy the afternoon with us.
Next item of business is the reading of the respective committee reports. The association has benefited greatly over the last year with the owners' participation in these committee processes. The board of directors would like to express again their gratitude on behalf of the membership for all the people who've contributed of their sweat equity to again make us be able to function like we should. I'll go ahead and start the committee reports since I'm first up, and it is the ABC POA committee, which I'm the attendee, and Brian is the backup person, alternate. Not a lot to report. As I've mentioned several times in our association meeting minutes, North Carolina House Bill 444 and Senate Bill 378 bills for the HOA oversight are still in deliberations. The last iterations that were presented in line in, line out properties, whereas in March, that's still in the two committees. There has not been any further movement on it that I'm aware of. These will have major impact on the HOAs across the state. However, I think we're in much better alignment than many of the others. The second item that is constantly on the agenda of the ABC POA is the draft Brunswick County UDO. That's the urban development ordinance that talks about everything from density to building to whatever as it relates to the efforts in the county and all the development. That still is not finalized. It still is wherever it is. And maybe by the end of this year, they will have something moving on that, but nothing now. And that's all I have from the ABCPOA. The next committee will be the ARC. Right? I think you're great.
Good afternoon. My name's Mike George. If anyone doesn't know me, I'm the chair of the ARC. Okay, so basically the current things going on is where we continue to review plans. We got about 41 builds going on right now, so we review a lot of plans, inspect the sites, approve modifications, and we now meet with owners prior to them building to make sure they understand what our CCRs are. That, they just can't come in and take down all the trees and put up fences all over the place and stuff. So it actually saves us a lot of work by meeting with them prior to them starting to do that stuff. Since my last report, we've approved 11 homes, 2 swimming pools, 2 sheds, 1 pergola, 1 driveway extension, 1 boat pad. We issued 6 warning letters to builders and conducted 9 final inspections. So 9 more houses came into the community. The last report, we have fined various builders a total of $4,450 after they completed their builds, and our review fees are $13,750. So we're rolling a little money. We continue to monitor the builds. We have no operating budget issues, and we have no reserve budget issues. We actually contribute to the reserve. Other thing, that's all I have. Oh, I have another sheet. Got it. Right now, we're 43% completed on builds in the neighborhood. 205 open lots. All that. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That was completed builds. Open builds are 48%, 225 lots, and right now we're at 9% building with 41 builds. One other thing I'd like to mention is I'm running for the board, and if I do get elected, I'd like to thank Scott and Don Testament. Been outstanding people to work with. I'm talking, you may not realize it, but most of the time we do about 30 hours a week. So as a volunteer, my hat's off to all of them for putting that much time in. Does anyone have any questions? Any answers?
That's right.
Okay.
Thanks, sir. Charlotte. Yep, sir. Those are docs.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Charlie Collins. I'm the chair of the Boats and Docks Committee. And before I go through the report, I just want to say thanks to all the committee members. It's been a busy and active year for our committee. Scott Reed, Tom Janke, Tony DeMarco, Kevin Rushing, and our newest and my most favorite committee member, my wife, Melinda Collins. Sorry, fellas, I haven't mastered the art of sleeping with one eye open yet. Current ongoing activity project status, boat ramp, the continued monitoring and condition and usage to ensure safety and accessibility, regular inspections of wear, damage, and debris. I'll provide a little bit more information on that in the reserve budget issue section. Boat storage area, monitoring of occupancy, rule compliance, and maintenance remains a priority. New signage and enforcement of rules are ongoing. And the storage lot status, the annual renewals were completed several months ago. The front lot, the report says 7 spaces vacant, but since I typed this up a couple weeks ago, we are now down to 2. And the back lot, we have 2 vacant spaces. Activities and projects completed since the last report to board. The 2 broken pilings at the floating dock were replaced this year at $1,100 each. Multiple quotes were obtained and contractor hired. 20 planks were replaced on the boat ramp per the engineer's guidance to keep it operational. Work was completed by a contractor at a cost of $11,000, and multiple quotes were obtained for that as well. The dock rub rails and cleats replaced at a cost of $1,200 in materials. No labor charge as that work was completed by the committee. And volunteer mowing completed at the front storage lot. Again, both those, this project and the previous one mentioned, thanks to Scott Reed and Tom Janke. We just recently posted permanent no parking signs installed at the beginning of the storage lot extension. Activities and projects planned to start within the next 6 months. We'll continue to pressure wash the boat ramp as it's a never ending thing. The boat storage area striping for the extended storage lot is scheduled for the week of September 22nd. All the users have been notified and have acknowledged where they need to temporarily relocate their items in the storage lot. Continue enforcement of the 1 space per homeowner rule. All stored items must be registered to the lot homeowner. It includes boat ramp usage, and guest passes for the ramp may be obtained from the committee with advance notice. Storage lots. Additional security upgrades and cameras and lighting are under consideration with the board following recent theft reports and ongoing monitoring of occupancy. Annual validations for storage ramp will begin on February 1st, 2026. So if you have something stored, or if you're a boat ramp user, you will get an email on February 1st from the committee. All the non-storage users, so just the boat ramp users, we are getting new decals for 2026. So the decals will feature a new color, and follow the directions of the email, or we'll send it back and ask you to update the information you provided. If you're a Gmail user, please, on February 1st, if you have an item stored, check your spam and junk folder. A lot of stuff to Gmail likes to get dumped into junk or spam. On the dock, the extension of the water line down the dock for pressure washing and maintenance to be completed by committee members with other residents from other committees. And then the kayak launch. We've had a few residents report the old kayak launch in bad shape. So we're currently evaluating repair costs for that, and this will likely lead to contractor quotes given the scope of work involved. Budget issues. We have no operating budget issue, and then reserve budget issue. I read this in the last meeting, and I want to read this one more time while we have a larger audience for the annual report. In partnership with our financial planning committee, we reviewed the current reserve allocations and identified a significant shortfall related to the future replacement of the boat ramp. The current reserve study lists the boat ramp replacement at $750,000. However, after factoring past replacement estimates, which were over $1.2 million in 2021, current construction costs, materials, permitting, and specialized marine work, we now believe the actual replacement cost will fall somewhere between $2 and $2.5 million, depending on materials chosen. As part of our due diligence, engineer recently completed the annual inspection of the ramp. While the structure is currently deemed serviceable, it is showing signs of aging and exposure consistent with its use and coastal environment. Based on professional input and typical asset life cycles, we should begin planning for full replacement within the next 7 to 10 years. If the ramp exceeds that timeline, it would be a best case scenario, but from a financial planning perspective, we must prepare now to avoid significant future shortfalls. Ensuring that our reserves align with the actual projected cost is a responsible step toward preserving community assets and minimizing the risk of unexpected special assessments. This reevaluation will help inform future budget cycles and reserve contributions so we can meet this major capital need without disruption to other essential services. That is all I have. Any questions?
Thank you, John.
Thanks.
Carl, Dan, you're up.
Hello, everyone. I'm Carla Vishnevsky, and I'm reporting for the Oyster Harbour Clubhouse Renovations Committee. It'll be short. The committee is an ad hoc committee, which was appointed by the Board of Directors to aid in the renovating and improving the clubhouse interior, the enclosed porch, and the deck. We have been able to complete some parts of the project, but because of lack of funding issues, we have not been able to move forward with many of our plans and goals this year. We did purchase artwork for the clubhouse interior, and our committee will proceed with our projects at the direction of the board of directors. Thank you.
Communications, Jim? Well,
Good afternoon, Llewellyn Brademan, Communications Committee with Jim Lunsford and Carla Wisniewski and John Iden. Current and ongoing activities and projects, adding new members to the community website, updating events and maintaining the online calendar, updating the message board at the exit gate with timely information, sending community-wide emails and text alerts to members, providing Zoom meeting support for committees and the board, issuing RF tags, swipe cards, and key fobs in accordance with the access policy. Activities and projects completed since last report, renewal of Oyster Harbour website through HOA Start for 3 years at a 15% savings. Planned activities projects for the next 6 months, Oyster Pearl newsletter. The committee will continue to maintain the newsletter's consistent format and focus on community highlights, upcoming events, committee updates, and neighborhood news. Volunteers are needed to assist with content gathering, writing, and layout. No budget issues or committee membership changes, although we welcome new members to our committee. Thank you.
thank you. Wait, post. Yep, live post construction, please.
Good afternoon. Name's Glenn Moore, and I'm the chairman of the Compliance and Post-Construction Committee. And wrong sheet. Let's try this again. All right. On activities currently ongoing, we have 9 open applications for improvements to homes. If you're one of those people that homeowners that had an application and you finished your project, please let us know so we can come out do the final inspection and close out your application. Between July and September this year, we responded to 13 improvement applications. 1 was for a fence, 1 home repaint, 7 tree removals for a total of 18 trees taken out, 1 deck request, 1 fire pit, and 2 roof replacement requests. Since the inception of this committee, which I think has helped out the ARC quite a bit, taking a load off their shoulders for this post-built requests, we've done almost just shy of 100 applications for exterior home improvements on the house. And for those that aren't aware, if after you move into your home, you have your CO and you want to do something, whether it be put up a fence, a fire pit, or you're going to change your roof, paint, anything like that, please contact us if you have any questions. We'll help you through the process. It's basically a formality. Out of all the applications we've had, there has been no issues and no one's been denied anything. And no budget issues and no membership changes. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Financial planning committee, please.
Hello, neighbors. My name is Dana Janke from the Financial Planning Committee. I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on, Charlie mentioned that we had an engineer that came by that looked specifically at our dock. And he's right in saying that it was significantly low in terms of an estimate for replacement. So we have adjusted that based on what that particular engineer specifically for the dock had said. We put it at 2 million, thinking and gave it about 7 years. So we went on the outside, the under on the cost and over on the remaining useful life for the reserves. So when there's 38%, as was mentioned by Larry, of the reserves, it went from 47% to 38% based on changing the 750,000 to 2 million. So that was the huge adjustment. We're still in a really good spot. The Financial Planning Committee's main project has been to update that reserve study. So we met with all of the committee members and updated for today's prices. As you know, we're in a much more dynamic financial position every day, whether it's inflation rates, what you can get on a CD. So there's a lot of constant changing. What happened after that, which is in my report for financial planning, is typically what we do is have a engineering company come every 4 years, review our reserves and see if they're reasonable. And we met with that same engineering company, but a new engineer who was exceptionally engaged, in my limited opinion, took a lot of pictures, and I gave him the reserve study. So when we get that report back, we'll have a much better current review of what our reserves look like in terms of accuracy for today. The Financial Planning Committee will continually update that as necessary, at least once a year. But it's very important to say, go to structures and say, okay, what is this really going to cost? Because financial planners really are not involved in that sort of thing. So we work directly with the committees, and they've been exceptionally helpful in doing that. So we're going to continue to do that. We're awaiting that report. But in that report, one of the most important things is going to be a more accurate price for full replacement of the dock. So we're looking forward to that. There's a couple other issues with respect to a reserve study. It's kind of dynamic in the way it works. There's a lot of columns. But what we'd really like to do with the new board, we're looking forward to doing it, is expanding what the Financial Planning Committee does. I think it's very important. I'm a tax accountant, and I see people's eyes glaze over when it comes to numbers. The more numbers you throw at people, the harder it is to digest. So what we'd really like to do is be able to do a little bit more translating for everyday users in terms of whether it's the budget process, tax returns, the reserve study, actual expenses, whatever way we can do that, and to help the board out in any way that they deem necessary. But we'd like to be more involved with the new board and look forward to doing that beyond the reserve study. We don't have any budget issues aside from the actual budget. So, but we're looking forward to the new board, and thank you all. Any questions? Yes, sir.
We had a 2% increase in spur from this year to next. That was what in the budget. Is that something, did the board concur with the FTC to come up with a 2%, only a 2% increase in the reserves for next year?
I'm not exactly sure. It was actually went from 31% with the reserves, and then it went up to 47 when it was still at 750,000. And then once we updated the dock, which was the remaining thing to do with boats and docks and with this engineer that was a marine engineer, we went to 2 million. So it went from 47.7% down to 37.8.
So let me just, if I'm out, please.
Of course.
Quickly, the report we received from the marine engineer came in August after the process had taken place. So we've just gotten that in. So the number from 47 that she was talking about, which we originally gone through the budget process about, was revectored based on just receiving the report in August. So last month's when we got it. So, but we decided to go ahead and down decrease that number to give us the 37%. So anyway, okay, thank you,
It's
Dana.
really a necessarily the same budget number. It's strictly the reserve.
Right.
Kind of two different things.
But we decided to go ahead and reflect it as accurate as possible. So,
Exactly.
right. So, and the reserve study underway still, okay, sorry, when the reserve study followed, that just happened even after the marine engineer was in here. So all of this has transpired well after July, and the budget and everything was all set. So we're just trying to keep all of this current. And even at that, The engineer doing the reserve study was given the report from the marine engineer, and they will come back with the findings from that. And even at that, it'll have to be, could be adjusted. We don't know up or down or whatever. So this is just the benefit of the numbers as we know them today, and it could be reflected hopefully down.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that'd be lovely.
anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you all.
Hello, everybody. My name's Mike Weddle. I'm the chairperson for the Grounds Committee. Current ongoing activities, just continuing to monitor and fix the irrigation system that's gotten very old on us. I was actually up there today fixing some stuff, so behind the pool, got it running again. Activities completed since last report, not a lot. Had some, a few additional pine needles put in at the entrance to dress it up a little bit. Activities planned for the next 6 months. As soon as it cools off a little bit, I'm going to try to get some of the older bushes taken out, get them replaced. Anybody would like to help me do that would be greatly appreciated. No budget issues, reserve budget issues. Carolina Creations continues to do a good job. That's about it. Any questions?
Thank you, Judge. New member orientation? Judy.
Hi, I'm Judy George, and my co-chair is Mary Ann Iden, who couldn't be here today. Before we start, I just want to thank all my members, or our members, Beth Baker, Lou Allen Brademan, Patty Christopherson, Donna Evans, and Elaine Weiner. We make a great team, and I hope everybody who comes to one of our welcome events enjoys meeting us as much as we enjoy meeting you guys. Since our last meeting, we have just decided when we're going to have a meeting in October, and we have a meeting on Monday to firm up the dates for the date for that and other details. Nothing else is new, but I thought I would review what we've done this year. We have chosen 3 months for our events for next year, which are tentatively scheduled for February, June, and October. We've been hosting these events since October 2022. So our goal is to welcome all new owners, whether they are building, buying, or moving in, and we would love to catch everybody before they started building or as soon as they move in, but that doesn't seem to be happening as much as we like. This April, we had our last event, and though we only send out invitations to Oyster Harbour, the new members in Oyster Harbour, anybody is welcome to come and meet your new neighbors. Also, the information we provide is a good overview and a refresher for general information about Oyster Harbour. And everybody has access to this on the website. If you look under document and forms, new resident information, if you're looking for anything from trash pickup to elections to urgent cares to whatever, we have summaries of information there for that. We have no budget issues, and we look forward to meeting everyone, all our new members at our next meeting in October.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill Justice, pause.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bill Justice, the chairperson of the Ponds and Fountains Committee. And I'd like to start off by talking about our current activities and projects. And fortunately, all the fountains, fountain lights, and our well pumps that we're responsible for are all functioning properly and in service. Our activity going on these days is basically the monthly maintenance that are performed by our contractor, Total Lake Care, to apply certain algicides and chemicals throughout the lakes and ponds. Projects that we have or have been completed since last report. I'm sure everyone's noticed as you've entered or exited the back gate that the ongoing project that we've asked for the last several months, the access steps down to the outlet weir platform, which includes some steps, handrails, and a platform at the uh, Russell Hewlett outfall, has been completed. And I wanted to thank the members of this board that were participating in that and carried that project through with little input from us except bitching about getting it done. So one of the other activities that we've completed about a year and a half ago, every year the Eagle Lake fountain would bottom out because that's a very shallow lake. About a year and a half ago, we had dredged underneath the fountain to make a little cavity there to allow the fountain to run year round. This year, we had a new occurrence where the fountain actually drifted outside of that cavity that we dredged underneath it, and it beached itself again. So we had to have that someone go out in the boat and move it back into place. We had an electrical issue recently on the north fountain over on Osprey Lake. It turned out to be a faulty ground fault circuit interrupter in the lighting panel. So we had that addressed by our contractor, and they got that repaired. Some of the main highlights that we did during this past year, between last year's meeting, September 24, and today, we had that same issue occur at one of the other fountains on Cardinal Lake. Again, another GFCI had to be replaced. We had 2 new LED assemblies put in. We were getting replacement of all the old halogen bulbs that we had short lifespan on the lamps to LED lights. And that was on the north fountain on Palmetto Lake and the fountain on Eagle Lake. So I think we're pretty much 99% complete to have all the lighting on all the lakes converted to LED. In April, we lost a well pump. We have 3 lakes with well pumps on them to keep the lake levels high, and that was on Mallard Lake. And that well pump had operated successfully for over 15 years, so we got a longer than usual run out of it. And we had that, bought a new pump, had it put in. It's working fine now. Unfortunately, the well itself needs a little help. It's got a little bit of debris throughout the casing, and we had to have the pump throttled back in order to run properly. It basically causes the pump to flow a lower flow rate, which makes the motor run longer. And that's one of the things we want to address in the near future, is to have that well cleaned. It took over 65 days to refill that lake. And we, let's see, talked about the Osprey Lake electrical issue. I also talked about the new steps and handrails. Those have all been completed. And no changes in the current operating budget. No issues, none. Reserve budget issues, none. No additions to the committee, and no removals from the committee. The other committee members are Bob Gray and Jim McGowan. While I'm here, I will also do the report for the Safety and Preparedness Committee. I think it's alphabetically in order, right? So I am a committee member. Our committee chairman, Leanne Winslow, and Bob Wilson were unable to be here today. So current activities that we're working on is traffic calming strategies, and we're in progress to discuss different options for that, help reduce speeding throughout the community. Access control, we're also in progress on that, which means trying to help reduce the amount of unauthorized entries through the gates and the community. And the evaluation of our safety goals. We want to try to get a good plan of action in line to work on for the next year. Activities that we completed, we worked closely with the social committee recently when they had the ice cream pool social to have a fire, EMS, police, family get together. We had the main evacuation bus, the K-9 unit, sheriff's department, the fire department and rescue from Tri-Beach Rescue all out to the clubhouse. We had several kids come by, each got a chance to meet the fire department and the police representatives and the K-9. Community Watch, which is a group that I helped start. We have put a policy in place and that policy has now been completed. On our emergency preparedness for disasters, we had a procedure in place which we've recently reviewed and revised. So that's a project we completed. The same way with our post-disaster policy. We have a plan in place, and I'm sure each of these are listed somewhere on the internet under the Safety and Preparedness Committee. Some of the activities and projects that we're planning for the next 6 months is we're going to schedule and hold some first aid classes, give everybody a chance to learn a little bit about first aid in case you do end up in one of those post-disaster incidents. We want to add members to our committee. We're jumping ahead a little bit. We are losing one chairperson, Bob Wilson, and that will leave us with two committee members and one chairperson. And we are encouraging anybody who is interested to help join our committee. We're going to, in the next 6 months, we're going to try to finalize some of these speed control strategies. And one of the things that we've been working on as part of the speed control is whether or not we should install speed humps in the community to reduce speeding. And that's going to involve some work by communicating to the county, Brunswick County Fire Marshals. Budget issues, we have none. Reserve budget issues, we have none. And as I mentioned, we are losing one member who's been a co-chair of the committee since its founding in 2023. And Bob Wilson has acted in that position, and I'd like to thank Bob for the work and the efforts that he has put in. He's been a very big help in that particular committee. And that's it. If there's no other questions about ponds or safety, I'm done.
Social meeting.
Hello, everyone. I'm here to report for the Social Committee. Currently, there are 21 members, plus our liaison, Brian Vinson. We work together to accomplish the objectives of this committee, and although we are a large committee, many hands are needed to accomplish what we do. Our mission is twofold. First, we plan, schedule, and organize events for the community that encourage fun and fellowship for all of our members. Secondly, we are responsible for the use of the clubhouse. We invite members to our events via e-blast sent from the Oyster Harbour HOA and often hand deliver flyers to new residents as well. Our calendar of events is posted on the website, and we place information regarding coming events in the message board at the gate and on the bulletin board in the clubhouse, in order to keep all our members aware of the opportunities to participate in the fun activities and engage with their neighbors. In order to keep them informed, we urge members to register with the website and check the calendar often. Our committee is also responsible for the reservation and use of the clubhouse for members' private events. Mary Ann Iden takes charge of that responsibility for the committee. The rules for the use of the clubhouse and the clubhouse request and reservation form were recently updated and can be found on the website. We also conduct periodic cleaning and organizing of the kitchen and the storeroom, although you wouldn't know it to look at it today. We meet every month to plan and organize and schedule the events. And we strive to have the calendar of events for the following year by December 31st, but we remain flexible to add or delete events depending on our circumstances. Since our last report in September of 2024, we have hosted 15 events. Some of these are annual events and some are new. Favorites include the holiday events, the charcuterie and wine tasting night, and our very special 4th of July celebration. We co-hosted the first annual block party with Mike Schiavone, which proved to be a huge success, almost too huge. Also this year, we collaborated with the Safety and Preparedness Committee to added a fun activity that included demonstrations by our local fire department, emergency services, and police department to our kids' pool party and ice cream social event. Members enjoy events that include live music or DJs, and we strive to bring exciting entertainment. We continue to support our larger community by hosting our Wish Upon a Star drive, which gave our members the opportunity to provide Christmas gifts and cash for local children and families in need, in addition to other projects that benefit our community. And by larger community, I mean outside our gates. So we also try to help the world we live in. We still have a number of other events planned for the remainder of 2025. We are hosting a new event, Oyster Harbour Poker Run, on October 18th. Watch for more information. Our Halloween party on Friday, October 31st includes a trunk or treat activity for the kids in the parking lot prior to our costume party. Costumes are optional. Our Harvest Soup Day and Trivia in November is a must. The usual holiday events will follow, and we will work together with Structures and Grounds, or rather, I should say, Structures, to decorate for the season. Please look at the calendar and look at your emails. You'll be getting information about that as well. Our committee acknowledges that it takes many committed committee members and volunteers to make these events a success and enjoyable for everyone. We truly appreciate the efforts of all of you who volunteer to work with us. We are especially thankful for the assistance everyone gives when setting up for events and when cleaning up afterwards to restore the clubhouse back to normal. We really do thank you. We thank the Board of Directors for recently approving the purchase of a new barbecue grill and griddle, and also a portable canopy to replace our old and worn out items. The committee welcomes your input of ideas for a new or different event. Please share your ideas with us. If you would like to join our committee, please let us know. We would love to have you. Remember, it takes a lot of people working together to get the job done. Thank you so much. And thank you to my committee members who are a real hardworking group of ladies and one gentleman.
Thank you, Carla. Structures, please. Oh.
I'm up here to speak on behalf of the Structures Committee, which, to be honest with you, is me and me. So first off, we desperately need members, and we need a chairperson as well. But as far as what the Structures Committee does, and we still have members that are out doing these projects, it's just not through the committee. But the normal things, maintaining the guardhouse, the U.S. and state flags, monitoring streetlight performance, putting out and taking in the trash for the community. As far as activities that have started, we are currently looking at, I know something that's near and dear to the pickleball people is we are looking at getting quotes to fill the crack. If you play, you've seen that ginormous crack throughout really the middle of the pickleball court. So we are looking at getting quotes to get that repaired as soon as we can. As far as budget issues, there are none, and reserve issues are none. And again, if you would please volunteer. Like I said, we have members that go out and do a lot of this stuff. It saves the community money in the long run to do this, which allows us to use those additional funds for other things, social events or bulking up our reserves. So, thank you.
Thank you, John. So the next item of business is the election of the new directors. Primary purpose of the annual members meeting is the election of board of directors of the association. That in the budget. At this meeting, it will be necessary to elect 2 directors. As the term of each director elected shall be for 3 years. Terms of Larry May and Danny Matthews are expiring. The following association members are our candidates. Would be Bonnie Fielder, Vincent Brackett, and Mike George. And at this time, I'm going to turn this over to BJ and say, okay, BJ, if you will take over and with the representatives for each candidate and be the inspector and the teller of the election and work along with Camo IB staff to do the tally of those votes so that you can come back and announce the results. And during this time frame, we'll be standing in recess. So we're in recess. Move ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Turn it over to you.
So Hank, Doug, Scott, as the delegates, please meet me in the back, and John and Bill will be joining me for tallying. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Come on back. I was not meant for the big screen. I'm sorry, where's makeup? Hair and makeup, hair and makeup. All right, I'm just gonna start first by reading the nominating committee report, which was not on the agenda, so we'll go ahead and start with that. The nominating committee, I want to once again thank John and Bill for being the best people to work with. Thank you so much for all your flexibility. The nominating committee was in charge of getting all of the information out to the candidates, collecting the candidate bios, getting all of that into CAM, doing the questions for the Ask the Candidate night, and making sure that they've been present and helpful for everything. Today, they also participated in the tallying of the budget decision as well as the election of the board of directors. So once again, thank you, and special thanks to Marty for stepping up the very last minute to be the witness as well. I appreciate that. We're going to start with, oh, I didn't bring the budget. Wait, the budget numbers. The budget was approved. Let me start there. The budget was approved with 147 votes for approving, 25 votes for not approving it, and 28 people didn't vote. So just so you know what that is, the budget has been approved and ratified to move forward. The results of the election are as follows. Vince Bracken received 99 votes. Bonnie Fielder received 114 votes, and Michael George received 177 votes. The new members of the board will be Bonnie Fielder and Michael George. If you all have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. That's all I have.
Congratulations to the new directors and for the candidates who ran in this position, and this meeting stands adjourned. This is it.